Hello, Nick Stewart again. So today we're going to put together a bit of information about pricing and property. What factors do we look at when we're pricing? Why do we look at those factors? And a little small snippet about underquoting. So first thing we look at is proof. We need proof of pricing. So recent sales are the big thing. And when you're sitting down with an agent, you might look at something that's sort of like this. Now, they're recent sales, they're for the Fern Bay area, and we look at your property first, and then the factors are like size, land size, build quality, and then we're going to compare to other recent sales in the area. So recent sales are the number one factor when we look at pricing. Number two is the competition, so the listings that are actually for sale right now, because it's important to get that right. When we're going to market, you have to be competitive. If you're not competitive, people won't come to the property. Number three is the market conditions. So the conditions might be that, hey, nothing's sold for the last 45 days in that particular area. Market conditions might be that at the moment there's an economic crisis, so we have to take those things into account when we're pricing a property. The fourth thing is buyer demand. Now your agent should know in that area, if they're looking at your home, what the current buyer demand is. So you've got to ask them, straight, what's the buyer demand here for my property? How many people do you think could be coming through on a Saturday? If there's high buyer demand for, say, a single level villa, well then we might be able to ask a little bit more than what a recent sale was 3 months ago. If there's no buyer demand because there's 4 or 5 of the same property on the market at one time, maybe it's best that we wait 3 months until some of those are sold. So they're really the 4 factors we look at. Now the last thing I want to touch on is underquoting, because this is a question that we get a lot. The question is, why can't we price our home with offers over anymore? Because they can in Queensland and other states. But in 2016, there was underquoting legislation that came in New South Wales because people got a bit cheeky with price. Agents were underquoting by 10, 20, even 30% to get more numbers through the door. But now we just can't. And that's why you'll see a price range or a set price, or even no price, as opposed to offers over, because it was misleading and there were plenty of buyers who were spending $400, $500 on up to 10 PESTA building reports and missing out on property. But that's it. So recent sales, recent listings, market conditions and buyer demand are really the 4 things that we look at when pricing. If you've got any other questions, just get in touch.